Welcome to your evening restorative flow. We'll be moving through a few postures tonight with a bolster if you have one. If not, you can use any pillows around the house, rolled up blankets, anything just to make the practice more comfortable. And when you're ready, we'll meet laying down, head on one end, bolster nearby. And then once you're on your back, you'll lift the hips and slide the bolster right underneath the pelvis. Be sure that it's more under the pelvis and the sacrum rather than the low back. And then you can stand the feet on the mat to start. Soften or close the eyes if that feels comfortable. And just take a full, long inhale in. And a big exhale out. Again, just like that, inhaling to fill the chest, the lungs, the belly with air. And exhale all of that breath completely from the body. And keeping the breath full and expansive. Start to allow each exhale to just release softly the pull on the headspace, the mind. There's still thoughts of what was to do today or tomorrow. See if with every exhale you can just soften the pull for now on the mind and root into the present moment. And drawing the awareness down to the hips. Notice the soft opening across the front of the hip flexors. Counterbalancing all of the sitting and flexion of the hips throughout the day. And you're welcome to stay here with the feet on the mat, knees bent. Or if you like, reaching one leg at a time long, so that both legs extend out completely and you find a deeper amount of extension through the front of the hips. Hands could rest by the sides of the body or maybe rest on the front of the hips. And with every exhale, just softening the grip, the resistance around the space of the hips. Energetically, the hips hold the emotions of the body, whether we're conscious of them or not. So it's a region in the body that can live in a bit more tension. So allowing the exhale to really send down and through the region of the hips, the pelvis. And just noticing what's present. Taking 3 more deep rounds of breath. And then if they're not already, bending the knees and standing the feet back onto the mat. And then with as little effort as possible, lift the hips and slide the bolster out to the left side. And allow the bolster to run lengthwise with the top of the bolster near the hip bone. Lengthen the left leg long. And then just gently draw the right leg in towards the chest. Pulling the thigh down towards the hip with the hands. If it feels nice, you could gently stir the thigh bone in one direction a few times. And then reversing that circle. And then keeping a hold of the right shin, you'll draw the right leg over to the left to meet the bolster. Shin rests, ankle rests, knee rests on the bolster. And then cactus the right arm open and turn the head to look towards the right. If it's nice, you can have the left hand resting on the top of the right thigh, giving the leg a little bit of a weight down. And take a full, long inhale, filling the right lung up with as much air as possible. As you exhale, feel the back of the right shoulder melt down to the earth. Again, like that, inhaling to expand the right lung. And exhale out, completely grounding the back of the right shoulder down. Twists in the body and any rotation in the spine is a way of detoxifying the system. You can imagine almost wringing a towel out. Bring that same image to mind here as you wring the spine of anything it doesn't need to hold on to. Physically, mentally, emotionally. What can you allow yourself to exhale and release? If you feel ready, starting to gently roll yourself onto the back. And with as little effort as possible, moving the bolster up and over to the other side, allowing the top of the bolster to land around the top of the hip, and then drawing the left leg in. Hands can gently pull the left thigh down into the hip socket. And if it feels nice, gently stirring the left thigh around a few times in one direction. And then reversing the direction as it feels right. And in your own time, gently drawing the left shin over to the bolster. And then rotating open, cactusing the left arm open, coming into that supine twist on the second side. If it feels supportive, the right hand can stay resting on the left knee, left shin. Gently pulling the left leg down towards the bolster or the earth. And as you inhale, now filling the left lung up with as much air as you can. Exhale as you root the back of the left shoulder towards the earth. With every inhale, finding the breath full and lateral into the lungs. With every exhale, gently rooting the left shoulder blade down to the earth. And then returning back to the inquiry. What can I release and let go of to make space for something new? With your next exhale, gently starting to unravel and come back center. And take a moment here, with the feet planted and the knees bent. Allowing the spine to come back to center. And then as easily as you can, maybe by pulling the legs in towards the chest or rolling to one side, we'll come up to seated just for a moment to set up for our last posture. Bolster will now come behind the upper back, and you'll lay down with the bolster hitting about the middle of your spine. And you might like a pillow or a block under the head if it feels kind of extreme. Arms can reach back behind you, maybe cactus open. And then the legs can butterfly with the soles of the feet together. And once you arrive, making any adjustments in the body that you need. And just taking a full, long inhale. Exhale to settle and arrive. The thoracic spine, the middle of the spine, as well as the shoulders, can often become quite rigid just from moving through our daily lives and sitting for long periods of time. So if you're beginning to meet any resistance here in the pose, it feels too extreme, you can always prop yourself up a bit more or choose a different posture that feels more aligned. And again, tuning into the breath. As we inhale and the lungs expand with air, that's what moves the rib cage, the thoracic spine. And as you exhale and deflate the lungs, the ribs gently pull together. And there's no force needed. There's no effort. It's just the natural happenings of the rib cage when we breathe fully and deeply into the lungs. And as you start to connect in with this opening of the heart space of the spine, Can you also tune in to what you're open to receiving? Abundance, love, happiness, prosperity. Bring to mind words that you'd like to usher in to this next season of life. deep rounds of breath here. Moving really gently. Begin to bring the feet back onto the earth. Reach forward with the hands for the backs of the thighs. And start to roll yourself all the way up to seated. Bring the soles of the feet back together and just drop the crown of the head heavy. Taking a few deep rounds of breath here. And when you're ready, stacking the spine and coming back. Thanks so much for practicing with me. See you soon.